What's up, Fortnite? It's the one and almost only Stickybasket. And scene. Today I'd like to bring out a pretty wild story from deep in my past. This was around when I was, I believe, 16 or 17. It was back in 1998 when I became a visual kei artist in Japan for 3 months. Yes, you heard that, a visual kei artist. It's an art form that was lost a long time ago, honestly. And I got to have 3 months of crazy hair, makeup, and outfits, and being able to play guitar, which is one of my favorite things, even now as I'm older. Time very much flies. And scene. So, a little bit about myself. Before I explain everything, I'm a Polish and Japanese, but I grew up in Germany for most of my life, and this is where I was raised. This just means that I was bouncing around cultures for honestly all of my life, and I never really found myself being able to be in just one place, you understand? But what I did fit into was music. Growing up, I was very much obsessed with rock music and glamorous things, punk, you name it. Theatrics was very fun for me. Anything that you were passionate about and you can put art into. And one day, someone showed me something. A little CD that I had. It read Lorraine, an artist that I listened to, and it blew my mind. Something that I've never heard before, let alone seen yet, and it was called Visual Kei. And scene. So what is Visual Kei? For those of you that do not know, Visual Kei is Japan's sort of version of more glamorous rock, but it also has some gothic tunes to it, and it has a lot of elements that are very different than the scene that is here. Imagine gothic metal with costumes, makeup, theatrics, and great music, honestly. Things that you can listen to now. The people that were popular back then, from my memory, were X-Japan, Lunacy, and Malice Mizer. But I don't know, you couldn't just see them as musicians. It was like they were works of art. And it was something that captivated me fully when I was in my younger years. Something that is a little different about overseas in Europe and Asia is that you actually have a lot more freedom to leave these countries than if you were like in the US. Unless you were in the military, of course, but I'm not very sure about that. I never was there. I've had some friends though. Yes, but teenage me saw this and was like, yes, that is what I want to do. And scene. So I ended up actually going to Japan and meeting an artist called Sambika. He was a very kind man, but long story short, I took a massive leap of faith. In early 98, I brought together a lot of cash that I had and a little bit of sponsorship from my grandparents, because I could never have my parents learn about this. And they actually still don't know that this even happened, because I was at boarding school back when I lived in Europe. I packed my guitar and I flew to Japan with no real plan, actually. It was just a dream. Especially after listening to multiple CDs of multiple different artists, I really thought that this is something that I could have for myself in the future. I flew into Tokyo, and it was very intimidating. I probably should have chose somewhere else, but I had a connection there. I barely spoke the language, just a bit from my mother taught me. But the city itself was a sensory overload for myself, as I'm autistic also. But by a miracle, that one connection that I had, Sanbika, very much helped me. He produced music for a bit actually, I think from 1996 to 2000. It was the one help that I had. I was actually playing in a guitar shop because I had no pick. I was playing with a coin and I had to buy some, but I had no yen. And I didn't know how to transfer my euros to yen. And we actually got to talk because he spoke a bit of English. And he actually hired a lot of foreigners to do his guitar plays for him. So I decided I could help out with that. Before I knew it, I was recording for him, being able to play for him in his compositions. I wish I could have played on stage with him, but not many stage acts came from him, as he made a lot of music on his own. Actually, I believe 120 songs. I still have some old albums sitting around in my house. However, I live in the United States now, so my English is a lot better. And scene. Thanks to this connection, I got to meet a lot of different artists. Lacrima Christi and Baiza are two bands that were a bit big in the underground scene in Visual Kei at the time. And as a total outsider, it was very mesmerizing to be able to be with them. I'd talk more about it, but I believe I'm running out of time, so I won't continue. And scene. I actually got to write my own composition and make my own first concert. I had a small rented room. I could fit in just my guitar and a little futon that I had. And I had a song idea and I thought it was so good. And I actually got to play it in a concert for people because I got to go work with Sambika. And he actually was able to get me a platform to perform with. And I got to play for like 40 people. Maybe 30. I'm being a little overzealous. It was a backstreet gig, honestly. A little livehouse performance. I think it was connected to a bar. I don't know. My memory is very fuzzy at the time. I had very beautiful makeup on. Honestly. It's very fun dressing as a woman at times. It allows me to express myself. And that's pretty much it. That's how I spent my 3 months in Japan, living my dream as a visual kei artist. I had to fly back very soon. It was messy and chaotic, but it was unforgettable, honestly. I enjoyed the time that I spent there, and I wish I could have spent more, but then reality set in and my grandparents couldn't cover for me any longer, so I had to come back. But thankfully I got to make this experience in my life. And who knows, maybe one day Stickybasket, the visual kei performer, will be able to make a comeback. And scene.